Having people that love you is one thing, but having people who still love you when you're a burden, still love you when things are a mess, still love you when you're in the wrong, those are your people. To truly be loved is to still be loved when it's inconvenient to love you. I crave so much more than just a physical connection. I crave words and depth. I crave who you are and where you came from, your desires and fears. I yearn to know every inch of you beyond the surface. I read a quote that said, "I like being alone, but that is why I knew you were different. Because for the first time ever, I wanted someone else's company more than my own." I keep thinking of how much I love talking to you, how good you look when you smile, how much I love your laugh. I daydream about you off and on, replaying pieces of our conversations, laughing at funny things that you said or did. I've memorized your face and the way that you look at mine. I catch myself smiling again at what I imagine. I wonder what will happen the next time we are together. And even though neither of us know what the future holds, I know one thing for sure. You're the best thing that has ever happened to me.
I wish I never met you. I don't think there was any good reason behind it. I think it was an accident, like fate got distracted looking at its phone, and when it looked back up, we crashed into each other, and it was too late. The damage was done, and we had met. I don't think it was a good lesson, or that it made me tougher, or a better person. I think it just became part of the reason I'm not the same anymore. The reason I'm so closed off. The reason I don't trust people the way I used to. I don't think we were supposed to meet. I think it was a complete misfortune. And sometimes I think about the day it happened, and how one minor decision could have stopped the whole thing. One moment could have saved me years. Because if we had never met, I would still be all the good parts of me, and there would be a few less parts that need to be fixed, and I would still go for drives, but you wouldn't enter my thoughts like you were robbing a bank, and I would still have these friends, but we would not reflect on how warped I was during the years you were a part of my life, and I would still have fallen in love again, and it wouldn't have taken as much reassurance. I wouldn't have been shocked that love is so different than I had originally thought. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, sure, but I'd be strong anyway. And the time I spend around you is dead to me wasted time. I wish I never met you. I wish fate had been paying attention. It was an accident that wasn't waiting to happen. A calamity, a catastrophe, a mistake.
I wish someone would have told me that sacrificing my boundaries in the name of empathy wasn't noble. I wish they would have warned me that all it would do is make me a safe house for other people's demons. I think empathy has to be taught in two parts. How to put yourself in someone's shoes and see the hurt they were given that made them hurt you. And how to understand that you still don't deserve what they're doing. Their scars are no excuse for the wounds they give to you. Their inability to heal is not something you can fix if you stay and continue to let them treat you in all these unacceptable ways. If you give them excuses and safe places for their darkness instead of demanding they do better, the only thing you are teaching them is that you'll put up with it. We want to live in a world where hurt people don't hurt people. But the reality is that starts with you standing up for yourself and not accepting disrespect. You chose to heal. You chose to take the darkness the world gave you and still be a light. You chose kindness despite the pain you received. They can too.
I'm sorry if I love you too much or seem too obsessed. I'm just trying to give you the love I never got. If I come on too strong or seem overwhelming, it's not because I want to suffocate you. It's because I want to make sure you know how special you are to me. I don't want to repeat the mistakes I've experienced, and sometimes I struggle to find balance. I just want to give you everything I wish I had, a love that's unconditional, strong, and always present. So if I ever seem like too much, it's only because I'm trying to fill the voids in both our hearts with something real. I hope you can understand you mean more to me than words can express. Every moment with you feels like a treasure, and I never want you to doubt your worth. Your happiness matters to me more than anything, and I do anything to make you smile. I know I may not be perfect, but my heart is genuine. All I want is to make you feel cherished in ways I never knew. I want to be the safe space where you feel loved, understood, and valued, no matter what. If I come on strong, it's because I believe you deserve the kind of love that goes beyond limits. You deserve to feel adored every single day.
I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most.
At least we had a good memories before we became strangers again. At least we shared moments that mattered, little pieces of happiness that are ours to keep. Even if life pulled us apart, we laughed, grew, and learned together. Memories that can't be erased no matter how distant we've become. They are imprinted in our minds, a part of who we are, and they have shaped us in ways we may never fully understand. It's bittersweet looking back and knowing those times are just memories now. But maybe that's enough. You always thought I was trying to argue, but I was just trying to tell you how I feel. I wasn't looking for a fight. I was looking for understanding, for you to see the things I couldn't put into perfect words. My frustration wasn't anger. It was hurt, the kind that comes from feeling unseen, unheard, or misunderstood. I tried to explain myself, but maybe I said too much or not enough. Maybe my tone betrayed me, or my emotions got tangled up in the words, but all I ever wanted was for you to listen, not to defend yourself or fix things, just to hear me, to know that my feelings mattered to you, even if they didn't always make sense. I never wanted us to drift apart over misunderstandings. I just wanted us to be close enough that I could share my heart without it feeling like a battle. I hope one day you'll understand that my words came from love, not from a need to argue, and that all I ever wanted was for you to care enough to listen. Nobody knows how much I suffered this year. I have seen the most vulnerable version of me, and I realize that it took everything in me to survive. From my silent battles, I almost gave up and almost lost myself because I was hurting a lot. Nobody really knows how many times I pulled myself together just to survive this year, and for that, I am so proud of myself for being here. I've seen the saddest version of me, the most wasted and devastated. But despite of that, I have learned that I'm a strong person. I also learned to forgive myself for letting myself settle for less than what truly deserved. I've learned a lot while I was hurting. Even though I've seen the worst version of me this year, I still learn to accept and appreciate myself. This may be the most painful year to me, but at least I survived and learned a lot. When someone tells you you've hurt them, do you listen or do you defend? Their pain isn't up for debate. Intentions don't erase impact. You might not have meant to hurt them, but that doesn't mean they aren't hurting. We often rush to justify ourselves, to explain our side of the story, but sometimes all they need is to be heard, to feel that their feelings are valid. Saying I didn't mean it doesn't heal the wound. It's not about assigning blame. It's about understanding and empathy, choosing compassion over ego, listening instead of defending. Next time someone shares their pain, pause and truly listen. Acknowledge their feelings, because their pain is real and your response can make all the difference. Sometimes healing doesn't come from being right, it comes from being kind. Your nervous system will always choose a familiar hell rather than an unfamiliar heaven. Your nervous system is connected to the trauma that you've been through, and it stores that trauma, and its number one job is to protect you and keep you safe. Here's the thing, is that your nervous system will protect you by keeping you comfortable. Comfort is the familiar hell. Uncomfort and pressing through the unknown, even though it's very scary, is the unfamiliar heaven. So get uncomfortable. Do the thing that is scaring you. Take the step. Jump, whatever that might be. Because what's going to happen is, you're going to end up in a way better place. You're waiting, aren't you, checking your phone, replaying conversations in your head, wondering if maybe this time they'll reach out first. But the truth is, they won't, because if they cared, you wouldn't be left questioning your worth. You wouldn't feel like a second option. waiting in the shadows of their priorities. You keep asking yourself what you did wrong, but deep down, you know it's not about you. You deserve more than scraps of attention. You deserve someone who sees you, someone who makes you feel like you're worth showing up for. It's hard, isn't it? Letting go of the hope you've held on to for so long, but holding on to someone who keeps letting you down. That's not love, that's settling. So stop waiting, stop chasing, and start choosing yourself. Because when you finally do, you'll wonder why you ever waited in the first place. Isn't it crazy how we'll never be as young as we are right now? We spend our days chasing tomorrow, planning for a future we're not even guaranteed. We say someday like it's promised, putting off dreams, delaying adventures, saving our best selves for a later date. But time doesn't wait. It slips through our fingers, a constant river. We can't rewind. We scroll through memories, photos of moments we didn't know were fleeting. We forget that today is the youngest we'll ever be again. So why not take that leap? Send that message, dance like nobody's watching. Embrace the uncertainties, the imperfect moments, the here and now. Because every heartbeat is a gift, a chance to live fully, to love deeply, to be truly present. Don't let life become a series of what-ifs and could-have-beens. Seize this day, this hour, this minute, because this moment is all we have. This is all we get.
Even if we can't be together in the end, I'm glad you were part of my life. I'm grateful for the joy you brought, the love we shared, the lessons we learned, and the memories we created together. You will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm sorry we couldn't find a way to make it work, that our paths diverged, and that our love story didn't have the ending we both hoped for. But not all love stories are meant to last forever. Some are fleeting, some are momentary, yet they touch our lives in ways that last a lifetime. I'm sorry for the tears, for the hurt, for the heartbreak. I wish I could take away the pain, turn back time and make things different. But life has its own plan, its own course, its own rhythm. Despite the goodbye, despite the distance, and despite the silence, know that you have made an incredible mark on my life. I will always remember you with fondness, for you brought color into my world, even if only for a short while, and for that I will always be grateful.
I read somewhere that getting your heart broken is a beautiful way to learn about yourself. How you become when you're broken, how reserved you become in your daily life, and how selective you become when it comes to letting new people in. You set new standards for yourself and hope that someone matches them enough to get close to you. You go back and forth on how much you take care of others versus yourself, and how much you love people compared to how much they love you. You create habits of cutting off things and people over and over because you think keeping them away will protect you from getting hurt. But the one thing that nobody realizes when their heart is broken is that letting people in is what will heal them. None of it will heal until you allow yourself to love again, not just someone new, but yourself, your life, and your heart.
You're still my person even if I'm not yours. I'll keep you as my favorite incomplete wish. Our story isn't finished, and the chapters we've written together will forever echo in my heart. Every memory we created, every laugh we shared, and every tear we shared has woven a tapestry of love that time cannot erase. I cherish the bond we have, understanding that sometimes love means letting go to allow both of us to grow and find our true paths. You remain a beacon of light in my life, inspiring me to strive for the happiness and fulfillment we both deserve. Though our journeys may now lead us in different directions, the love we shared will always be a part of who I am. I'll hold on to the hope that our incomplete wish will someday find its fulfillment, whether together or apart, in ways we can't yet imagine. Until then, know that you are deeply loved and profoundly missed, and that my heart will always hold a special place for you. May our separate parts bring us peace, joy, and the realization of all our dreams, keeping the essence of our connection alive in every step we take forward.
If I could give you one thing in life, I would give you the ability to see yourself through my eyes. Only then will you realize how special you are to me. Now that I know a life with you, I never want to know a life without you. Look, if you were blindsided by a breakup, don't ruminate what you could have done or what you could have changed. Most likely you were a great partner. You took care of yourself and you tried to be the best partner, as much as your partner let you. If you didn't hate yourself in the relationship, you did amazing. Most likely they hated themselves in the relationship, not for something you did. They hated that they could not feel the simple joys you did, not your problem. In time, when they feel safe away from you, they will be able to feel that joy and simultaneously feel the grief that they couldn't appreciate it in the present and that it's gone. Take care of yourself. There is a rare breed of people that go all in. They keep their word. They give it all. They go the extra mile for those they care for. But these individuals hardly ever receive the same passion and effort in return, yet never change and always give their all, hoping that one day, maybe, just maybe, they find someone as rare as them, to love them as fiercely and with as much devotion. This is to the givers, forgivers, and selfless lovers out there. Keep being beautiful. Don't let this cold world change you, and take advantage of every little moment you are given. What if we try again? What if we give it a try and this time we'll finally make it right? I know deep in my heart I could let you go 100 times, but my heart would never stop hoping you'd find your way back to give us a second chance to make things right. What if love is indeed sweeter the second time around? What if we choose each other again, but this time we fight harder to stay? What if this time it could be better? I don't know who needs to hear this, but your ability to create the reality that you want is directly determined by your willingness to experience its opposite. Saving money will have you feeling broke while it's actually making you rich. Setting boundaries will have you feeling alone while you're creating new healthy relationships in your life. Digging up your trauma will have you feeling broken while it's actually healing you. Working out has you feeling weak while it's really making you strong. Learning something new makes you feel dumb while it's making you more intelligent. Your ability to attain the thing that you want is directly correlated with how willing you are to experience its opposite. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable to truly achieve success. You got this. You have to be able to separate how you feel about someone from how someone makes you feel. Those are very different things. I may feel about a person that they are charismatic, adorable, intelligent, wise and fun, but they make me feel, or if they make me feel lonely, sad, anxious, stressed, and questioning my value, that's the reality of my relationship. So you can think someone is a god, but if they make you feel like you're nothing, that's going to be your experience.
Well, you don't have to make anything clear to me. It's not like she's my property.
Someone told me that, according to psychology, one of the most ironic parts of healing is that when we start to get better, we begin to feel sad from the things we missed out on, from the people who let us down, and from what our younger selves truly deserved. Healing involves grieving. There's no way around it. You don't always suffer in life because you are bad. Sometimes it's because you just didn't know when to stop being so good to everyone. Sometimes tears are the only way you can express pain. But that's the beauty of healing. Being in that vulnerable space when your emotions take form and then release. You'll then see that your pain is not your enemy, but your guide, showing you where to set boundaries. We never cross paths again. I want you to know that I regret nothing I may have said I did at a weak moment, but I do not look back on any of our time together as time wasted. I want to remember the way we fell into alignment like planets in orbit, the way we sank into each other with all the ease of clouds merging, the way holding and kissing you felt like being lit from within. If we never see each other again, I hope you remember me as someone who loved you fiercely. It's okay to fight for someone who loves you. It's not okay to fight for someone to love you. I learned that the hard way. I spent so much time convincing myself that if I just held on tighter, they'd see my worth. But that's not how love works. Love should be a partnership, not a battlefield. When someone truly loves you, you won't have to prove why you deserve it. You won't have to beg for their attention or their affection. It will come naturally, effortlessly. I wasted so much energy trying to make someone love me the way I love them. And in the end, I was left drained, questioning my own value. The truth is, if you have to fight for their love, it's not real love. Real love is mutual. It's shared, not something you have to chase. Don't make the mistake I did, clinging to someone who doesn't see you for the incredible person you are. Fight for love when it's worth fighting for. But don't fight to convince someone to love you. You deserve someone who knows your worth from the start. Choose yourself.
One day someone's going to come into your life and show you the true meaning of love. One day someone's going to come into your life and show you the true meaning of respect without you even asking for it. One day someone's going to come into your life and show you that you are enough, and you're going to realize that all those failed relationships, and all those sleepless nights, and all those early mornings, and all those days where you were just in your head, worrying, wondering why. One day someone's going to come into your life and answer all those questions. They're going to come into your life and show you the true meaning of love. One day, it'll happen.
Do people get tired of each other after being together for a long time? At first it feels like you've discovered the deepest connection. Endless conversations, laughter, newness. But after a while, the silence starts to fill the space between you. You argue over little things. You miss the spark you once had. And then someone new comes along. They seem to have all the answers. They bring back that excitement. And suddenly your current partner feels like a distant memory. But remember when you first met, you felt this way too. The real test of love isn't in the fireworks. It's in the quiet moments when words run dry. Love grows in the ordinary when you choose to stay, even when it feels easier to walk away. Hold on to what you've built, because nothing extraordinary comes without effort. Loved you enough to ignore the things that should have been red flags. The way you pulled away when I needed you close. The way your words felt warm, but your actions were cold. I told myself it was enough. The little moments of affection, the glimpses of the person I wanted you to be. I held on to the hope that if I loved you harder, you'd finally see me. I gave and gave until I had nothing left. I bent my boundaries, let go of my needs, and became someone I didn't recognize, just to make you stay. But the truth is, you can't make someone love you the way you deserve to be loved. And no matter how much I gave, it was never going to be enough for someone who didn't know how to receive it. Now I'm learning to let go. Not because I stopped loving you, but because I finally started loving myself. I deserve more than almost love. More than waiting for someone who was never ready to give me what I gave them. It's not easy. Sometimes I miss you. But then I remind myself of all the ways I felt small. Of all the times I stayed silent when I should have spoken up. Walking away wasn't about giving up on you. It was about choosing me.